Hey there, designers. Have you ever wondered what makes some design work and some designers just really stand out and what makes them heads and tails above others? Well, I actually think it's one of the four main elements that we bring to the table when we're talking about design, and we're gonna look at it in this video. Now, if you've seen my other video where I talk about the four parts of design and what really makes design work well, one of those elements is called synthesis. And I'll link the video in the description below just in case you wanna go check that one out. Synthesis is one of the main parts of design, and it's a fancy word really for just reducing and simplifying and converging things. It's taking something that's really, really complex, maybe huge, and being able to boil it down to its most essential parts. That's the idea of synthesis. Now, designers do a lot of exploration. They do a lot of what's called divergent activities, things that take you from a point of understanding and move outward away from that thing. You widen your understanding, or you widen the scope of solutions you're willing to consider. But you can't live in that wide place. You actually have to turn the corner from what's called analysis or broadening or divergent activities into convergent activities, or what I'm talking about here, which is called synthesis. Now, in the design thinking playbook, they actually have a really great illustration of something called the grown zone. It's when you're moving from those divergent activities and doing all the exploration, you're going to turn the corner. That's the grown zone when you start to move now towards convergent activities or synthesis. And I love that phrasing, the grown zone, because it's where the consternation, it's where the difficulty of design begins. You can't make something that works universally to solve everything. This is where you have to rely on your strategy to understand what the most important things are that you can solve for. And then you begin to double down on those and create a solution that really works well. So why am I promoting synthesis? Why are we even talking about this in the first place? Because good designers know they need to make choices. They can't do everything. Their solution can't be all the things to all the people. And that's really what makes a designer stand out, is to craft something that really fits so well that it's taken the unnecessary things away and pushed them out of view, out of sight, and possibly even out of the experience, so that it really hones in on the most important pieces, on the most important parts of a customer journey, or on the most important aspects of the design solution. Synthesis is all about making the best choices. It's about removing the unnecessary parts. It's about simplifying what you're about to propose and what you're driving for in your solution, and also making the choices so that less things are apparent, less things are brought into the experience. Simplification and choice. That's really what it comes down to. So this plays out in a lot of different ways. So if you think of the classic double diamond approach where you have sort of a problem space and a solution space, there are 2 points of synthesis, 2 points of convergence. The first one is when you're converging on what you understand the problem to be. The second is when you're converging on what the solution to that problem is going to be. Without the ability to turn the corner from exploration or for divergence to convergence, we're left with more problems than we ought. And sometimes as designers, we're tempted to fall prey to the pressures of keeping all the options on the table. And so as we turn the corner from divergence to convergence, we never really converge. And sometimes we're adding more than is necessary to solve for the core problem that we really need to solve for. So as you're doing this convergent work, this synthesis work, as you're synthesizing, you want to make sure you're targeting that sweet spot where the solution that you're proposing has nothing extra, but also hasn't reduced it so much where it becomes invaluable. You're on the hunt for that sweet spot between too much and too little. If you provide too little, then customers won't really experience the value. Your solution won't work. On the other hand, you don't want to have too much. Too much, and it'll actually make it too bulky, too complex, and it won't be usable. People won't enjoy using it, and they might even feel overwhelmed by it. They'll look at it and go, I don't like it. That's the sweet spot you're looking for. You're looking for that spot where you have not too little and not too much. It's that just right kind of solution. And the only way to find that sweet spot is to do rigorous testing, to constantly be thinking about evaluating, analyzing what's necessary and what's not, and getting in front of real people and letting them use your solution. That's how you discover it. That's how you find it. And it's almost always best to err on the side of simplicity, because you can always add things to it later if you need to, but you should add it with some level of concern. So synthesis is the key power that allows us to turn from something that's very complex and hard to understand or hard to use to something that is elegant and simply understood and simply used. And now I'm not trying to undersell people who have a very strong analytical skill set. We need that. But that skill needs to be balanced with synthesis so that we can choose and simplify our experiences. So I hope this encourages you today. I hope this sharpens your ability to look at your design work in a new way. As you're thinking about what to do next or where to go, what choices can you make? How can you simplify it down? How can you work to the point where you've reduced all the unnecessary parts so that it works seamlessly. That's the superpower, is synthesis. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you found it encouraging, because choices are hard to make. And if we don't make them, our design work won't improve. And the people we're designing for won't have much of a better experience than what they had before. You can't fight complexity with more complexity. If you're interested in growing your design and creative abilities, I've got other videos you can check out, and I'll link some of them up on the screen here and in the description below. Go forth and make something awesome today, and go make some choices and simplify. Find that sweet spot where there's nothing unnecessary. Thanks for watching.